Hi, good
Hey,
morning.
good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm excited to be here this morning.
Me too.
Well, I'm Dr. Dana,
I'm Laura.
and this is Business Besties in Branson. And today we have a special guest with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, certainly. My name is Michelle Funk, and I am here in Branson. And I got to tell you, I'm a little bit starstruck, and I don't get starstruck very often, but y'all are kind of famous. So bear with me whenever I stumble on my words a little bit. Okay?
No, we are not famous. We're not even Branson famous.
Well,
No, I
I
was
see you
thinking that too.
everywhere. And
Well,
so-
yeah, but that's because we just go everywhere.
Yeah, we do go everywhere.
Well, we just love you so much. So.
Oh.
Well, thank you.
Well, I'm excited to have you here because the first time I met you was at that vision board party. And then I found out you were a nurse. And I'm like, here is a nurse who's doing something besides nursing. And I'm like, I was enthralled from the very beginning. Like, I want to know what you're doing because there's so many nurses who are truly burned out.
Right.
And it's like, we have to have an outlet. And how do we have so much experience and knowledge in critical thinking skills, but how do we take that to a different industry? And what do we do?
Absolutely.
And you did it. So this is very exciting.
Well, part of it was, because I had no choice.
Mhm.
And part of it was because I'm restless, I guess you would say.
Okay.
Just change doesn't bother me. Moving forward doesn't bother me. Stagnation does.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been an RN since 95.
Okay.
I got my RN in West Plains.
Okay.
And then had kids, the whole 9 yards. And it took me 10 years to get my bachelor's, which was not in nursing.
Mhm.
At that point, I was going to go to med school, was admitted to Kirksville.
Mhm.
And divorce happened, those kinds of things. So that wasn't my path.
Yeah.
But I've been building businesses since I was 22 years old. So
Nice.
had some clinics I built up and sold in Eastern Missouri.
Mhm.
When I was 25, had a construction business with my former husband for 14 years, and I sold home interiors through high school. So I'm just an entrepreneur at heart.
Oh my gosh, I love
And I know a little bit of
this.
nursing, right?
That is fantastic. What a
you.
great. I'm already going, oh, I like you.
Right. And how do you start these businesses? And what makes you think, like in your own mind, like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to start a business. I'm going to start a business. Like, how do you do it? What inspires you to do it?
Well, it just depends on which business you're talking about, because when I sold the home interiors, it was to fill a need, meaning, my kids needed food.
Right.
And the construction business, my husband at the time was working for somebody else in the construction industry, and he had learned a ton and was making like $7 an hour. I'm
Right.
dating myself a little
Right.
bit. But I said, well, you could do that. So
Right.
my generous mother gave us a loan and bought all the equipment, and here we went,
Wow.
And then I found myself pretty heavy, so went to a weight loss clinic down in Mountain Home and loved it, did really, really well. So I thought, I can do this. So I
Right.
did that. And so it's just every business I've ever had has been, filling a need of some sort, either somebody else's need, which usually works better,
Right.
or filling my own. So the business that I'm in now, which is the insurance agency, came because COVID just wiped me out professionally, physically, mentally, all that kind of stuff. Because I was a Medicare compliance officer in a large home health agency in St. Louis. And so as those changes and, all the stuff from the CDC was coming literally hourly for a while.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
so, my nurses and therapists, we had over 100, and they were complaining, all these changes. And I'm like, how would you like to actually get the information, figure it out, disseminate it, and then have, so anyways, it just kind of wore me out. So
Yeah.
my company, love them, still very good friends with one of the owners in St. Louis. She, I kind of saw the writing on the wall about 6 months before, but cutbacks and everything, how it goes. Healthcare is a business.
Yeah.
And so I started interviewing. I interviewed my real estate agent that I was with for 11 years, and interviewed a person that was doing the Medicare, insurance. and thought about flipping houses, but during COVID time, you
Right.
could wait 6 weeks for some
Sure.
windows or something. So
Right.
that wasn't going to work. So it was just kind of a natural progression out of nursing, with Medicare. I've been in senior care since 97. So yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Well,
that's me in a nutshell.
oh, I know, but there's so much to it. Like, that's a huge topic, Medicare. I mean, there's so many ins and outs and rules and this and that, the A, the B, the D. There's so much. It's like you've got to know a lot of stuff and then apply each of that to every client because every client's going to be different.
Every client is different.
Yeah.
I tell people, just because you are married to somebody and you live in the same household, you might even see the same doctors. Your situation is likely completely different than your partner's.
Right.
I had a couple I've been in this area since 91 with a short lose your mind hiatus to the city.
Yes.
Right? And then came back. But I had a couple lawyer, they were retired lawyers, and they said, we want this plan because our friends told us it's the best thing out there, and that's what we want. Like, oh, no.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're starting down the wrong path already.
Right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm a broker, so I can, definitely look at that for you. But let's just do this exercise just for fun. So I looked at their medications, their doctors, they're independently of each other, their health situations. And that plan would have been perfect for him. No problems, would have been great. He wasn't a big healthcare consumer. For her, it would have been tragic because she would have been kind of locked in to, they didn't really have a whole reason to switch plans, midstream. So she would have been locked into that plan, and her medications would have been over $12,000.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So I was like, maybe not.
Right.
So that
Wow.
just really, and that was early on in my career. So it kind of illustrated that you truly do. You don't waste a moment going through everything with them, So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if people in this area know how blessed they are to have someone like you to help them.
Aw, you're too sweet.
No, but seriously, because there's too many
I don't
people.
know about it at all.
Yeah.
No.
They don't know. And I mean, you got these people set up little booths at Walmart to sell you health care.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And selling, you hit the nail on the
Yeah.
head.
Oh, it's a
Selling.
sale.
Right.
Yeah.
And the 1-800 numbers, we don't really compete with them, but half of my job is fixing what those people mess up for folks. People don't realize it. If you call one of those 1-800 numbers, Joe Namath is screaming at you,
Right.
get all the benefits you deserve.
Sure.
Then you have initiated that relationship, and they can then call you with abandoned regard. So it's important that they know, don't call those numbers, don't give out any of your information, because with 2 key pieces of information, somebody has a key to your kingdom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That just, we talk about security and everything else.
Right.
And let's just face it, the elderly are so susceptible.
So much. I am a bulldog when it comes to advocating for the seniors, all of my clients, really. People who don't have a voice, I'm that loud, obnoxious voice for them.
Right.
But, it just drives me nuts whenever people are scammed and taken advantage of.
Oh, yeah.
It really does.
Wow.
So how do you get your clients here then?
So interesting. Whenever I started this business, and I started it in 2020,
Okay.
and the person who trained me, he likes to do bot leads. So whenever you get in the mail, you get these little cards, and it says, are you getting all the benefits you deserve? If you have questions about your benefits, just fill this out and send it back in. So those are called lead cards.
Okay.
And there are marketing companies that make millions of dollars off of agents and all kinds of different businesses, but for a large part, the insurance business. And so the agents, they buy those leads. Okay, because with Medicare, actually, and people need to understand this, we are not allowed to walk up to anybody and strike up a conversation about Medicare. We're not allowed to knock on doors. We're not allowed, those marketing practices are very, very regulated. And so, but if you have a lead card, then you have permission to contact, because the person actually said, yes, I'd like to have some more information, right? And so I knew right away that was not for me, because cold calling, even though you have the little permission,
Right.
he took me out and we went and, to see these people. And a lot of them were like, I don't remember filling that out, and obviously they did because they had their little
Right.
return, sticker on there or whatever. And I just knew right away that this is just not for me because in the home health world and the Medicare world, especially, towards the end of that career, when a problem got to me, and I don't say this to be boastful, but when a problem got to my level in the compliance department and the case management and that kind of quality, it was a problem. And so, it would take the team and we would just figure something out. And so fix it. And then, yay, you're the hero. And so whenever we would, come to these people knowing that we can help.
Right.
And then, I felt like a, dirty used, automobile salesperson or whatever. And that doesn't mean to slight any automobile salespeople, but that's what I felt like. And I was like, my ego cannot take this. And I'm not that person that's going to say, and try to overcome objections to get into the house. Like, that's just not me. I can help you. I know I can. But if you don't need it or you don't want it, somebody else does.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And so to answer your question, I get my leads and my clients from referrals, networking. Networking. I'm a baby to networking. I joined, my networking group almost a year ago, I guess. And Lord works in mysterious ways because I met my partners, and which Wendy Youngblood and Marianne Daly. And Wendy approached me and she's like, I really like your energy and I like your ethics. And I've been looking to find another couple women in the industry, in the insurance industry, to kind of join forces and be that one-stop shop.
Right.
So that, we can empower others, empower women, and really all of us be there for our clients, not just whenever the sale is happening or, the presentations or whatever, but actually truly be there for them. We'll answer the phone. If we're with clients, we won't answer the phone. Tammy will, our awesome customer service person, but we'll call you back, right?
Right.
And so, and you don't have to call an overseas call center and, be transferred and all that kind of stuff. So it's very personal.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And that's how I kind of got into this. And my clients are referrals and networking, so it's not who
I'm
you know.
glad to hear
it's not
about
what you know, it's who you know
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We talk about networking all the time, that it's just a big game changer, and would you mind saying what
Networking Navy.
Yes.
Yeah, Networking Navy. And it's an awesome group. It's pretty much mostly small businesses, medium size maybe. Doesn't cost a whole bunch. That's one of the big draws.
Oh, yeah.
And the Network Navy has several chapters between Branson, Ozark, Nixa, Springfield. And I know that they were branching out, maybe Harrison and some other places. But it's industry exclusive, which just means that if you are an insurance, health insurance agent and you have joined the group, then they won't allow that spot is filled. And
no other health insurance agents in there
in our chapter. So our chapter meets on Tuesday mornings at 8:00 at Coffee Creations. Then there's another one on Wednesday that meets at 2 p.m. at El Lago, and so they can have a health insurance person. And then we can also visit all of the other chapters or ships, they call them,
right?
For free as guests and just kind of meet more people and network more. If there's somebody in that chapter that has, does what you do, then you're respectful and just, meet people. Hello, and
well, absolutely. And I also find when you meet people that do the same thing you do, you make a connection that you're able to say, oh, hey, I can't get it all done this week. Are you doing anything? Can you help me out? You want, or I can refer them to that person because I can't do it all.
Absolutely.
Right.
You can't, and you can't be the master of all of them.
Even though we try, we really try.
I know, I do. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, I'm doing nothing between 2 and 4 a.m. So
Right.
Surely I can
I
figure
think
this
we've said
out.
that before. Yes. Is sleep really necessary?
Right. I don't know.
It is.
Okay. All right. She says it is. Yeah. Okay. And you both are nurses, so you would know, I'm just a teacher. I don't sleep.
Just
I
a
was.
teacher.
I was
Come
just a
on.
teacher.
Oh, my
Brr.
goodness.
And I did not sleep. And now that I run, the work shift, I don't sleep either. So it's okay.
Well, we're just
funny.
just ambitious, I guess.
Well,
That's just
I think
a
so.
streak.
Well, and I would rather be this way and just keep go, and like I want to do this and reach that goal. And, by the time I'm stepping up, like I got that goal, I already have 4 other goals ahead of me that, oh yeah, I got this one. Let's keep going.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
And I also, I recruit agents, brokers. Like I said, we're all brokers. So I recruit, but I'm very specific about who I will, invite into the company because I want to make sure that anybody that's representing us and has anything to do with our clients is, on very, very forthcoming and
Sure.
have the same ethics as what we do. And so I recently signed Jeff Burkhart. He does came from the Aflac world, and he still sells Aflac. He says it's a wonderful product, and they have great products for the ancillary world. But he saw the need in his circle, and he's got a huge circle, where he could help people with the Medicare part of it. Because honestly, there are so few brokers out there and so many people that need help. There's enough business to go around, especially if you're, you have integrity.
Yeah.
And he certainly does. So we have another couple that are coming on from Springfield. So we're excited.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. Like, how do you keep up with it? Because you can quickly get overwhelmed. And like you said, like people calling because they need a question or need help. It's like you can get caught in the weeds real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Dealing with just issues that you're not making any money on, but then it keeps you from making money, with other clients. And how do you manage that? But I guess just having more people.
Well, yeah, more people. And honestly, whenever I figure it out, we'll have to do another podcast because I haven't figured that out yet. Because no, you're right. To do the things that I need to do to be there and fulfill promises that I've made, I do a lot of stuff that doesn't make money, right? So I help people with Medicaid applications. Medicaid doesn't pay me anything,
Right.
I help people with appeals. This year was crazy with the marketplace. I don't know what happened, but I had several appeals that I had to do. And after, a client will assign me as a representative, then I can go fight for them, and luckily so far I've been successful with those, so we even to a hearing, I don't get paid extra for that. I don't.
Wow.
But people who don't have a voice are easily taken care of or easily, pushed aside.
Sure.
Right.
And that drives me crazy. So, multiplying yourself and others. And I have always believed, and this sounds kind of corny or altruistic, but I've always believed do the right thing as often as you can. I mean, do the right thing always, right?
Right.
And then the money will follow.
Yes, I think that too.
And that really hasn't let me down. No margin, no mission.
Yeah.
But the mission is true. And it's like the heart of me.
Right.
So, and I won't compete with my brokers, as they come on. If I can, give them referrals, then I do. I have to continue to build my business. I have to, be able to fund that.
Right.
But I also don't take their commission.
I was going to ask, do you get a portion of their commission?
No.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
No. So the way that insurance companies work, and I'm sorry, insurance brokers and brokerage houses out there that are going to be mad at me for letting the secret out.
Right. Here's the secret.
But
right?
it's public knowledge, right? So it's kind of a legal pyramid scheme, like many things in our government are. So whenever you are, I'm just speaking for the health, Medicare, let's say, and so you can't go to United Healthcare and say, United Healthcare, hi, here I am. I want to sell your product. I don't want to be your employee, but I'll sell your product, and you can give me a little bit of money, right? They, of course, no. So you have to be have an upline, so a little bit bigger agency that you're signed with, and then they are signed with a bigger agency, and so numbers, they listen to numbers, and so the top of the hierarchy then goes for most, not all insurance carriers are that way, but they contract with United Healthcare because they have this big bunch of numbers backing them up, right? And so what the insurance companies will do is, and this is going to change in 2025, is they understand that there's a lot of administrative costs that go along with running a brokerage, training and training people and keeping track of stuff and stuff that doesn't make money. So there is money on the back end. Okay, they're called overrides. Mm-hmm. And so the brokerage houses will get so much, dollars on top of, what your agents are getting in their commission, just to cover your administrative costs,
Mm-hmm.
and that might go from $25 a plan to on up, And so that's kind of where two things where I benefit financially from having more agents is, numbers.
Mm-hmm.
People
Right.
listen to you with numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I get a little bit of override. It's not a lot, but a little bit. So I don't take their commission. So the bigger numbers we have, the more people we can service. And then also, we get a little bit more to grow the agency. And then I can give them referrals more, because I don't take their commission. Commissions are set by CMS, by Centers of Medicare Services. Every year they publish out there, this is how much a insurance broker can earn per Medicare deal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's around $300. But they pay us that, and then we have to take care of that person for the entire year.
Yeah.
Right.
So when next fall rolls around, you're sitting down. If you're a good broker,
Right.
you're sitting down, looking at your client list, looking at what's coming out, because we have to go to these meetings where all the carriers tell us why they're the best thing out there, right?
Right.
Of course.
And so then you look at your clients, what they're on. If there's anything that might be better for them, and kind of prioritize how you taught, who you contact and how quickly you do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that goes into it.
Well, yeah.
But a lot of these brokerage houses, locally and regionally, nationally, they'll take up to half of people's commission. Yeah, it's
Holy
crazy.
Oh, and then you're expected to service that person for the rest of the year for $150.
Right, right.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, the ones that take a lot, and I don't begrudge them their money because sometimes they do provide a lot of services, just kind of handhold the agents or whatever. But half, it's a big secret, and I'm here to bust the secret because
Right.
it's public knowledge, right?
Right.
Knowledge is power if you use it.
That's
Right.
true.
And so, my message out there is that if you're being taken advantage of, then
Yeah.
take a look at that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Well,
and look for yourself
yeah.
and investigate for yourself. Don't just
Right.
trust. And just that whole idea of this is public information. I didn't know. I wouldn't even know where to go find it if I wanted to know that it
Right.
if it was
Right.
public or
Sure.
not. So
Yeah, if I do for fun. I read the Federal Register, all the sneaky little things that they try to push in and that kind of stuff. So
That's awesome.
I worry about insurance, so you don't have to.
that's
But
nice.
being with Risk Masters, they Wendy Youngblood does the does the life and investments for modern women, and then Marianne Daly, she does all the property casualty business.
Wow.
So there's not a lot we can't handle. In fact, she writes our own, our work comp and all that kind of stuff. So
Wow.
yeah,
Well, that's fantastic. And integrity is so huge. I mean, the fact that somebody can come into your business and know that their needs are going to be met and not taken advantage of
absolutely.
is huge, especially back to the Medicare, because they're just going to trust whatever you tell them. And a lot of elderly just don't know because it's so complicated.
It is.
And it's a lot
I'm
for
not
you to know.
elderly yet, but it's so complicated. Because
And
you say
you're
I'm elderly
Dr.
too.
Dana, right?
I have, yes, but still I have no clue.
Right.
And I'm not doctor medically. I'm
Right, I
a doctor
know.
in the education field.
But still,
which
you
means
know
I
how
should
to learn.
understand. I
That's
do.
right. And
I
teach.
do know how to learn.
Right.
But when I hear you say all this, I'm like, oh my God.
The
Maybe I
alphabet
just need,
soup.
it is I just need to go and see you and let
Yeah.
you take care of it. But then
Absolutely.
for every single person, they don't have a you. They don't know you. They don't know to go find somebody to help them.
Yeah, I speak a lot at different, for free, different senior centers. And it's not going there to get business, right?
Right.
It's to educate. Knowledge is power.
It
And
is.
if you use it, and I have a whole thing on, how to choose a broker. you should have a broker in your pocket as you do, an attorney many times, especially if you have so many businesses.
Right.
You have a dentist, you have a doctor, several doctors, depending on what's going on. There's these small circle of people that you have, professional people, and I feel like a broker needs to be counted in that, whether you're getting marketplace insurance, whether you're a small business and, looking at options for your employees or Medicare, those kinds of things. You need to have somebody that you can reach out to. And I have a whole list of questions, and, I can get that to y'all if you want it, that you should be asking that broker. How long have you been doing this? What's your attrition rate? How's your client retention? How many of the carriers are you with? What happens if there's an issue? I always tell people, call me first.
Right.
Some things I can do for you.
Right.
Some things I can direct you, and some things we can call together.
Right. Right.
Because the insurance companies are a little bit different whenever they know that there's a broker on the line with the client.
Sure.
Oh, I bet.
Sure.
Like, something. So, right. Yeah. I love that.
I do
and I love
too.
that you say that you're an advocate for other people, because I felt like that as a teacher. I was always that loudmouth for the kid. This kid needs and this kid needs. And everything. Yeah. But if somebody doesn't give them a voice, they don't have one.
Right.
So I appreciate that you're giving
Thank
people
you.
voices
Thank
who, don't have voices for whatever reason. They don't know how to speak. They don't know your side, right? And they don't know what you can do for them. So
Well, and there's so many scams out there, and there's so many crooked people. If you're in this business for the money, you need to find something else, because honestly, it's not a quantity, it's a quality. And then with the quality, the quantity comes, right? But it just, they don't know that they can have that advocate. And I get this, I don't know, weird, just, oh yes, this is why I do what I do.
Right.
Whenever I win an appeal for somebody.
Nice.
And
I bet.
that's just some added value I bring because of my background.
Right.
Whenever Medicare had an issue with our agency, I was on it, right? So that's just kind of some added value.
So are you allowed to advertise like in newspapers or magazines?
Yeah, I mean, there's some compliance things that, you have to make sure that you cross all your T's and dot all your I's, or vice versa. But I found that, that's a good way to keep, build your image or your brand. But honestly, it's getting out and talking to people. And then, they realize, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So,
Well, because I was just sitting there thinking, I don't know what the rules are, but like, if you put out an ad saying, "Hey, I've settled this many whatever cases," you talk about getting some attention. Like, oh my gosh, she'll go to bat for me.
right.
I mean, that's stuff that people would be talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really considered that because, it's as they come,
Right.
and that's not a business model that, brings in the revenue, but it builds goodwill and, it builds good karma points,
Yeah.
And then I can sleep at night knowing I did what, what I needed to do.
But if people know that you're out there and you are able to do this for them, because they're probably thinking, my agent would never do something like that for me. They just told me to call this number.
Right.
It's like, I think I need to change agents.
Well, and I'm one that, there's so much business out there. There's business for everybody. And I'm not going to go steal anybody's business. I had a situation earlier this year where I went to bat for a client. And she was a new client, a referral. And she previously had a different brokerage house or, agent and stuff, and that happens.
Right.
But, she wanted to come to me for whatever reason, So I got her set up, and this other agency, and it could have been very, very honest mistake because the marketplace insurance,
Right.
the way that they have it set up is really easy to make a mistake, and you can't fix that without calling the marketplace. And I assume that this is probably what happened. But her policy got canceled before it ever started. So she had a bunch of medical tests for January that she couldn't do because her policy got canceled.
Right.
She emailed me. She's like, "Can you explain this?" I'm like, "No, but I will." So I got to investigating and saw that another agent had canceled her plan
Oh my
for
goodness.
24
Oh.
and just stopped.
Oh.
Right. So I called the marketplace with her, and the marketplace is just like, well, we can put it in and it'll be effective February 1st. I'm like, no, that's not good enough.
Right.
This is no fault of her own.
Yeah.
No fault of mine. And, in looking at the history, the person who she was with popped up. Whether that was the person that pushed the button or not, I don't know.
Right.
But I went to I emailed every single legislator that would listen to me.
Right.
And Josh Hawley's office always gets back to me, which they must know me and dread getting my phone calls. But, by the next day, my client had the director of her insurance, it's local, call her and say, I'm so sorry, we got this taken care of. You'll be covered the 1st of January.
Wow.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Then the powers that be, not me, reported all this to the Department of Insurance. So, yeah, it went kind of crazy. But anyways, long story, but the moral of it is she got what she needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And without you, she wouldn't have that.
No.
Right. And that's what people need. I love even how you said, you need, like we always talk about, if you're going to start a business, get an accountant, get an attorney. And now you're running your life, you need a broker. Right.
Right. Absolutely.
So somebody that can help. And you help with all forms of insurance, like your group does,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. Risk Masters Group. We're right there in Hollister.
Say that again. What group?
Risk Masters.
Risk Masters. Okay.
Yeah. So
I love that.
Secure your future through stages of life. So cradle to grave, right?
Right.
So yeah, people will come in and they'll sit down, they'll have some coffee. They call it our office. I think you guys have been there. They call it the spa office because when you walk in, it's more like home, right?
Nice.
Instead of a clinical office kind of a
Nice.
thing. And so you'll have some coffee, meet Tammy. She's the sweetest thing. And then you can visit with all three of us, or, if you don't have time, we'll set it up whenever you do. So, and I go out to people. I speak Spanish, un poquito. I had a client yesterday I spent 4 hours with because, it was a language thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We did what she needed to do. So
Wow. Well, your Spanish is going to get a whole lot better too.
I hope
Doing
so.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
I hope so. I love the language though. So.
Oh,
But if you don't use it, you lose it.
Well, that's true.
That is true.
Well, and I saw on your advertisement, se habla español, and I'm sure I butchered that too.
No,
but
you're fine. Hablo español un poquito.
well, it's more than my Taco Bell version of it.
Okay. What I found though is that pretty much anybody that is non-English speaking or English as a second or third or fourth language, usually they're very warm and very they're very happy that you're even trying,
Right.
And so I was really nervous yesterday, and I told the lady I was really nervous because I don't want to mess your insurance up.
Right.
And so she knew enough English, and I know, plenty of Spanish if they speak a little slower.
Yeah.
And it all worked out. It just took a little bit extra time. So
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love
What a
it.
skill.
Great. Oh, I know.
I'm like, my gosh,
I love it. I
that's
absolutely
your
love it.
brain on a whole different level to be able
It
to
is.
speak duplicate languages.
Well,
Shoot.
the babies, I've heard many times that, they get really frustrated because in language development, and you probably know this, Dr. Dana, is that, speaking is the last thing that comes.
Right.
They know what they want to say. They know what you're saying, but actually articulating that. And that's where I'm at with Spanish. I dream it. Whenever I read Spanish, I'm not translating it in my mind. I'm reading it for what it is. But it's
Wow.
just that, hearing something and then thinking about how you want to respond and responding correctly, that's still
Wow.
a little bit difficult. But
It is difficult, but you even knowing that that's a process and that you're learning is fantastic on your part. You know, that you're, I guess, give yourself grace with it, that you're saying, okay, now I'm in the processing phase and I know it's going to come. Like, that you keep going, because some people just get so frustrated in that communication stage that they lose relationships. They lose the ability to move forward in wherever they're going. That communication barrier can be huge. And so I really appreciate that you understand the process and you give yourself grace and patience to say, I'm learning. I've got
you.
It's in my brain. It's going to come out slowly, and you're right. That is the way that we talk with children, okay, spit it out, except for when Emberly and Emma are together. Oh man, they get crazy. Our little 5-year-old granddaughters. But at the same time, they have communication barriers as well.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so and they learn to communicate through pinching and scratching and screaming and and biting.
Well, I know adults that do that. So
Yes.
yes.
Whenever
But
I thought,
I like to preface, any kind of interaction with, if you speak slowly, I can understand. So please have patience with me,
Mhm.
Because I don't want them to get frustrated.
Sure.
And I really haven't run into very many people that do get frustrated. They smile. It's like, oh, okay. Because I probably said something way wild, mixed
Right,
all
like,
of the grammar,
Right,
isn't
right.
well, but.
Wow.
Anyway.
but you're trying, and that's something that people should, and they're acknowledging. So that's fantastic.
That is.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
great.
It is.
Well, I'm so excited for how you have really lived your life. I mean, you have just done so many things, and it just speaks highly of who you are as an entrepreneur, that you just keep going, moving
you.
forward. And
I'm going to come here every morning. I need this pump up every morning. But no, I appreciate that.
yeah, I mean, and
Absolutely.
divorce is no small thing. And you're not the first woman who said, out of necessity, grew this, and they ran through a divorce with kids, and here they are on the other side of it years later, and they've created a life for themselves that they love. And it's like, wow. So we all go through tough times, whether it's
Sure.
divorce or not, but that there is hope, and just keep moving forward and keep doing it. And it's just a wonderful storyline that we can all do this. We
Right.
really can.
Sometimes you need support, sometimes you need
Absolutely.
support from, your doctor or counselor or, your accountant or whatever it may be, But my mom always said, just keep putting one foot in front of the other and you'll get there,
Yeah.
But there's people out there that have had so many bigger, worse challenges than myself, and I look at them and I'm like, how do you stay so positive? You bloom where you're planted.
There
is
you
what
go.
I was
You do.
told,
That's right.
So
That's right.
I try to live by that.
And I love how you said, like, you saw something, you're like, I can do this. And then you see something else, you're like, I can do this. And I can do this. So I think that's inspirational for women in general. Just look at what you're doing in your everyday life and like, well, I can do that. Well, I can make this. I can do this. We have so many women that, come in, and I just love hearing that. And so as you just kept saying it through your story, like, well, I can do this. I can do this. Like that confidence, and then doing it actually, to back up. Because I think sometimes we say, oh, I can do this. And then, oh, we didn't do that.
Well,
but we tried.
not everything that I thought I could do, I ended up, but you just, Cat Williams, and we won't repeat his, some of his monologues, but Cat Williams said it really well, is you try stuff,
Right?
insert colorful words, but you try stuff, it doesn't work, back up, try it again, doesn't work, try it again, doesn't work, come up, doesn't work, and then eventually it will work, but also all the things that you learned on the way.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And anybody can do something. You just have to start and ask.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have found that people are overwhelmingly willing to give you information and education and help. Just ask.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Where's
Yeah,
your
that's it.
advice? Ask.
Ask. I love that.
Yeah, you're right. There are many people who want to help.
Right. I tell people the worst thing that they can do is take out a gun and shoot you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Second worst thing is they can say no.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That's
All of a
true.
sudden, no, it's not so bad.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I don't even remember where I heard that, but I was like, oh my, you're right. That would be
That's
the
true.
worst thing that could happen.
That's true.
Oh, how funny. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for
you.
coming and spending your time with us. It means a lot to us that women want to come and talk to other women, because like you were nervous. I don't think you're nervous anymore. So there's no reason to be nervous, but
Absolutely
it
not.
is. I mean, and
I
it's
don't know if
just
it was
fun.
nervous or starstruck. Like I said,
Oh, my
y'all are
goodness.
you are famous.
So I don't think so. So we always wonder, like,
no.
where's this going? I said, I don't know, but we're learning a lot, so we'll just
I
keep
know.
going.
I love
We
it.
do
I
think
love
that.
it. I love
Yeah,
it.
because we learned so much from other people, and so we said, ask. Like that's advice for women. Do you have any other, advice that you want to give before we end?
Probably just keep moving forward, whether it's, little bitty teeny tiny steps. And sometimes just the fact that you woke up at all, that's a win.
There you go.
It just, everybody has things that are bothering them. and kindness, you don't know what somebody's going through,
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
true.
it's just my advice to anybody would be just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Oh, I love it.
Good. Me too.
Well, thank
I
you
think I
so
needed
much
that
for
too.
having me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Well, you have a wonderful afternoon, Michelle. Thank you so much.
You too.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.